Hello beautiful people, my name is Taiwo and you're welcome back to my channel Easy Sewing with Ty. On the channel today, I'll be showing you how I made this gorgeous crop tube top with Basque hemline. So if this is something you're interested in, then you want to watch till the end. So this video will be in two parts, the pattern drafting process and the sewing process. So this is part one. Now to all returning subscribers, thank you so much. I appreciate you all, and if today is your first time of joining us, it is so good to have you here. You're welcome. Please hit the subscribe button and put on the notification bell now so you do not forget later on. Okay, thank you. So let's get started. So the front pattern paper is longer than the back because of the basque effect that this crop tube top has. So I'm gonna have to divide the paper into two. Then this will be my start point. I won't be starting the measurement from the tip of the paper, but rather that will be my start point. Here is the center front. Here is the side front. Here is the side back, and here is the center back. Now it's time to put in the vertical measurement. So since we are making a tube top, I will not be starting my measurement from the shoulder. I won't be starting my vertical measurement from the shoulder because it's not needed. It's a tube top that we are making. So rather, I'll start my measurement from the overbust. So I'll show you what an overbust means. You say tutorial illustration what an overbust means. So it's up to you to decide what your own overbust will be when you're taking your measurement. So the overbust that we're working with today is 7. So instead of starting from 1, instead of starting from 1, I'll start from 7. Okay, I'll start from 7 since we are making the tube top. So I'll be placing my 7 here, and I'll take all my vertical measurements. So the first vertical measurement to put down is the armhole line or the chest line, and the armhole we are working with today is 8. It should be 8.6, but since this is a tube top and no sleeve would be attached, 8 will work as well. So I'll go ahead and measure 8 across the front and the back pattern. Now the next vertical measurement is the bust point, and the bust point that we're working with today is 10.5. Again, make sure that the measurement starts from the over bust, which in this case is 7. So I'll go ahead and measure 10.5 across the front and the back pattern. Now the underbust, the next vertical measurement to put now is the underbust, but this underbust line is only needed at the front. It's only needed at the front. You don't need it at the back. So the underbust that we're working with today is 13.5. Again, my tape measure is starting from, my measurement is starting from 7. I'll go ahead and put down 13.5 on the front only, on the front pattern only. The next measurement now is the half length. So if you have been following my tutorial videos, then you know that the half length for the front is different from that of the back because of the bust bulge. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, then check my video on how to draft a basic bodice and how to take accurate body measurements. But the half length for the front is 17. I'll go ahead and put that down, while that of the back is 15. Now let's label what we have so far. So that is the chest line or the armhole line, followed by the bust point, followed by the under bust for the front only, and now the half length for the front and the half length for the back. Now the next thing to do now is to put in the top length, So the top length that we're working with today is 20. Note, this top length is not the basque, it does not involve the basque alteration that is at the front, or you can just use your shoulder to your navel. You can either use your shoulder to your navel or take your desired top length. So the desired top length that we're working with today is 20. I'll go ahead and rule it here. So because the half length is different, it will affect the full length. So when you take the full length at the back, it will be different also. So the difference between the half length that we have is, the difference between the two waistline for the front and the back is 2. So you remove 2 from the top length measurement. It means for the back, I'll put down 18. Don't worry, the two sides will match up at the end of this tutorial. The two sides will still match up at the end of the tutorial. So I'll go ahead and put down 18. So now it's time to determine where you want the basque effect to stop. It's up to you. You can add 4 inches, you can add 5 inches to your top length measurement. It's totally up to you. But I'll be adding 5 inches for the front only. If you want the back to also have this basque effect, if you want for the back also, then you can go ahead and add 5 inches here also. You can go ahead and add 5 inches or 4 inches depending on how many inches you decide to go by. You can decide to add it here. So here is the top length, the length, and here is the basque length. That's the basque length. Now that we are done with the vertical measurement, it's time to put in the horizontal measurement. But before we start, we'll first put in the bust span. So the bust span that we're working with today is 7. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So starting from the bust point, I'll go ahead and measure 3.5 all the way, like so. Now that I'm done imputing the bust span, here at the start point, I'll come out by 4.5. I'll come out by 4.5 and I'll connect it this way. Now that we are done with this, the next thing to do now is to do the under bust and the over bust tightening. So to do the under bust and the over bust tightening, at the side that is closer to the center front, I'll go in by 1/2 inch. And here I'll come out by 1.5 or 1.8 is fine for bust 38 that we're working with. And I'll connect it to the bust point like this. And I would replicate the same measurement here. Now we are done with the other bust tightening. Now it's time to go over to the over bust tightening. So from here, the side closer to the center front, I'll come in by 0.8. And here I'll come in by 1 inch. I'll be using 1 inch. And I will have this. Now that I have this, the next thing to do now is to connect this way and have a curve. And not have a pointy look. So here is what you want to do. And here also. Just have it. Next thing now is to put in the horizontal measurement. So the first horizontal measurement we're putting in is the bust point, is the bust measurement. So I said we're working with bust measurement of 37. So here's how you want to take the measurement. Starting your tape measure this way, it stops at 3.5. That 3.5, just move your tape this way. Yeah, because you are still going to cut out all these parts. So you don't want to include it in your measurement so as not to have shortage. You're still going to cut it out. Then you continue your measurement. So I'll go ahead and impute the bust measurement that we're working, which is 37. Yeah. I'll take the same measurement here on the chest line also. Next thing to do is to put the waist measurement. The waist measurement that I'm working with is 33.
After which I'll put in the navel measurement since the top length falls around the navel area as it is a crop tube top.
Time to connect it and do this. Notice that I use broken lines. That's because this is not the actual line. We still need to fold in this darts line before actually doing the connection, because if you cut it out this way, then there will be shortage. I will show you what I mean when I get there. So the next thing to do now on the front area is to determine how deep you want the neckline to be at the front, how deep you want, or the cleavage line, how deep you want it to be. So I'll be using 8.5 today. 8.5 and 8.5 is here. Now I'll connect it this way. And I'll connect this like this.
So this is not the final line that I'll be cutting as well. I'll still have to close that leg and redraw another shape so as not to have shortage. Now the final thing to do on this front pattern is to take the bust dart. That is what will make these two sides to actually match up. So from the bust point, I'll come down by the difference between the front half length and the back half length, which is 2 inches, and I'll connect it to the bust span that way. So I've taken in my bust dart. So for the back pattern, the first thing I'll be doing is to draft the darts, and to do that I'll be putting in my bust span from the bust point also. I'll connect it that way. Then at the waistline, I'll come out on both sides by half inch, and I'll connect it to the apex of the darts and to the lower part of the dart like this.
The thing to do now is to put in the horizontal measurement. So the same thing, I'm putting in the bust measurement. So note this pattern does not have zipper allowance. It does not have zipper allowance. This pattern does not have zipper allowance. So I'll be putting the bust measurement that we're working with is 37.
After which I'll be putting in the waist measurement, but remember to add 1 inch to it for the dart so as not to have shortage. Then I'll also go ahead and put in the navel measurement at the length. So for the back, you can either leave it straight like so, or you can come down by half inch or 1 inch and connect it to the chest line, but I'll be leaving it straight. I'll be using the chest line measurement that we have there already. So the final thing to do at the back is to do the back tightening, especially if you will be adding a zipper. If you will be lacing it, then there's no need, but if you're adding a zipper, then you have to do back tightening. At the waistline, just come in by half inches and connect it like so, but make sure to replace that half inches to your measurement so as not to have shortage. Doing this, you have been able to eliminate any zipper bulge that may want to appear, and your zip will lay flat.
So now I'll cut it out. So when you are taking your zipper allowance, you still see it when you're transferring to fabric. Here is from here that we'll start measuring the zipper allowance for the waistline. So here is what you want to do. You want to fold it this way and align it this way. Make sure that it's matched up. Then you go ahead and do your markings. You can see that where we have our new line now is different from here. Imagine if you had cut out this dotted line. Look at the amount of shortage that we would have. Here is why this is very important. Don't just cut it out that way. Ensure that you fold in your dart allowance before connecting it. So it now depends on the shape that you want to have here. You can make it curvy a little and have something like this. Or you can have a very sharp edge. So it depends on what you want to do. Now that I'm done with that, same thing here also. I'll go ahead and fold it. Can you see? Now that I've folded, there's a difference between where this line meets. So if you have cut it out, there will be shorted here. There will be shorted here. So you want to have this. And we shape it out that way. So here is the line that I'll actually cut out now. The final thing to do now is just to take in this bust dart here. That's easy. Just make sure that this new line match up with this bust point line, and so you notice that there's a little shortage here, so that can be fixed when you're drafting it on your fabric. So you can see now that when you put it this way, it's actually match up. So please always fold in your dart leg before doing this and before doing this also. So here's the front pattern. There's F1, F2, and here is the back pattern.
That will be all for today, so I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If yes, kindly give it a thumbs up. I won't know if you enjoy it if you don't like it, and also it won't be recommended to others if you don't like it. Please like it, share it, leave a comment for me, let me know what you think. I love feedback. You can also connect with me on my Instagram page at tyke_tyke. If you're yet to subscribe, please do not leave without subscribing, okay? Thank you, and see you in my next video, which will be the sewing process. Bye.